7 o'clock. Okay, if you guys can all turn your mics on. Good evening. I'd like to convene the August 20, sorry, the wrong date. Let's get the right date. The September 14th meeting of the Zoning Commission regular meeting. It's held in Town Hall Room 133. I'd like everyone to rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Tonight we have several members missing, so all of our alternate members will be seated tonight. So I'd like to give everyone a chance to introduce themselves. I'd ask that Commissioner Holmes be vice chairman tonight, and I'd ask that Commissioner Lucia handle the secretarial duties for tonight. If we could introduce ourselves from my left.
Hi, Gwen Armand, alternate, but not tonight.
Phoebe Holmes, regular member, vice chair tonight.
Andrew Kame, normally secretary, but tonight acting chairman.
Mike Lucia, alternate acting secretary.
Okay, thank you very much. The alternates have been seated. We will start off our meeting with our zoning enforcement officer's report. Mr. Fran Lawley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. 47 High Ridge Road, the Salis residence. As indicated at the last meeting, there's a pre-trial date set for 9/27, with a trial date set for 10/12/23. There's been no change on that at this time. 327 Candlewood Lake Road, Anthony Copiolini. I sent a second notice of violation. He's widened his driveway and he's parking the Lakeville towing vehicles up there now because his lot appears to be too small across the street. So I did send a second notice. He has until tomorrow to comply. If not, I'll go to a cease and desist order on that. 2 Yankee Drive, Moscalino residents. They installed a shed on the property. They're working with Artel Engineering. I did speak to Artel yesterday. They should be submitting an application before the Zoning Board of Appeals for the next meeting in November. So that's moving along slow, but it's definitely moving along. Moving on to the next page, 2 Bonnie Road, the Medina residence. It was an accessory apartment. I did reach out to her again. She just submitted an affidavit indicating that her daughter would be occupying the apartment, but I indicated to her there's more than just a affidavit, so I did send her the directions and a copy of the regulations, so I'm still waiting for a response from her on that. So 42 South Lake Shore Drive, Murtaugh. It's a short-term rental issue. Sent a notice of violation requesting compliance by tomorrow. Late today I did receive the short-term rental application submitted into me, so I'm going to remove that from the enforcement report for the next meeting. 5 Stony Farm Lane, Rodriguez residence. He had a whole bunch of concrete, mafia blocks, construction material dumped in his front yard. It's still sitting there. I did drive by this week. It was still there. He has until tomorrow to have it all removed or contact me, which he hasn't done anything to date. So 9 Cross Road, Jake Sweeney. It's at Purple Heart Karting. Another complaint came into the office. I did speak to Mr. Sweeney late tonight. I sent him the information on a customary home occupation application and informed him he cannot be storing the dumpsters or the empty containers at his property. He indicated to me that he's not, but he's going to fill out the application and he'll be in the office tomorrow to submit that into me. So that's moving along. 31 Green Knoll Drive, the McGovern residence. I don't really have an update on that. I know we had a conversation today with Attorney Marcus, and that's, I guess we're still going back and forth with that.
It's pending right now.
It's still pending, so hopefully have another update by the next commission meeting as to where we stand on that and what action we're going to go. So, and then 158 Long Meadow Hill Road, the Payock residence. Scheduled to meet him on the property next Wednesday. That's a new home that was constructed with an accessory apartment in the basement level. And he does not occupy the house. He's renting a house and technically, from what I understand, renting the apartment too, which is a violation of the regulations. So, moving on to the citation side is the 89 Wisconsin Road, the Gone residence. She filed an appeal for the appellate court. So I did speak to Attorney Schellenberg this morning, so we're waiting to see where this is gonna go with the current Superior Court, so. And then 33 Hidden Brook Drive, the Torres residence, there's been no change. That was sent over to the town attorney through the building department, and I have no current update on that one, so that's where we stand.
Okay, thank you. Did any of the commissioners have any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, I think we can move on to the next item. Thank you, Mr. Lawley. We have correspondence that came in from the Department of Environmental Protection. There was an application to divert water for consumptive use for the Candlewood Lake Club. This is, we were simply referenced for our information. The material is on the card if any of the commissioners wish to review it. It wasn't included in the packets because it's a little bit of a volume issue. Moving on, I'd like to review our minutes from our August 24th meeting. If the commissioners have had a chance to review them, please do. If there are any comments or questions, I'll entertain those at this point in time or corrections needed. Well, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the August 24th, 2023 meeting as noted.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the August 24th meeting.
Thank you. Motion from Commissioner Lucia to approve. Okay, on that motion, all in favor of approving the...
I'll second it.
Second it, thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes of the August 24th, 2023 meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Any disapprovals? No? Okay, hearing none, the minutes are approved. Okay, we have no continued public hearings, but we do have a public hearing that we are going to be opening tonight, consider opening tonight regarding, I'm sorry, the public hearing was set at the August 24th meeting for application Z33-44 for the town of Brookfield. This is a regular meeting of the Brookfield Zoning Commission. At this point in our agenda, we have scheduled a public hearing concerning the application of Town of Brookfield, application number Z-23-44 for the proposed text amendment regarding usage in zones C1, I1, and CP. First, let me introduce the members of the commission this evening. From my left,
Gwen Arment, alternate.
Phoebe Holmes, regular member.
Andrew Kame, secretary, and tonight acting chairman.
Mike Lucia, alternate.
We will open this hearing by calling on the commission and secretary to read the legal notice of this hearing, and you simply have to read the text of the legal notice.
Okay. Notice that Brookfield Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing at Town Hall, 100 Pocono Road, room 133, at 7 p.m. on September 14th, 2023, for an application by the Town of Brookfield, 100 Pocono Road, for a proposed text amendment, RE, usage in C1, I1, and CP zones. At this hearing, interested persons may appear and be heard, and written communications received. Files are available for inspection at Town Hall. Gary Getz, Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. This application was formally received by the Commission on August 11th, 2023. The public hearing is only one aspect of the approval process and is for the purposes of accepting factual information and data bearing on this application and to allow expression of opinion by interested parties. Subsequent to this hearing, the commission has 65 days in which to render a decision on this proposal. The final decision may be in the form of approved as submitted, approved with stipulations, or denied. After reading into the record the correspondence received by the commission relative to this application, we will ask the applicant to present the application in detail. Presentation will be limited to 45 minutes. The chair will then entertain questions of clarification concerning the applicant's presentation. We will hear from those who wish to speak in favor of the application, followed by those who are opposed. Comments must be limited to 5 minutes. Members of the public will have one opportunity to speak during this segment of the hearing and may also submit their concerns in writing during the public hearing. During this segment, the commissioners may ask additional questions. The bylaws of the commission only allow for the presentation of similar positions in succession and preclude the intermixture of comments, pro or con. All questions and comments must be directed through the chair. As you are recognized, please state your name and address so that your comments may be legally recorded. Please be assured that everyone will be given the opportunity to speak. However, the commission is most interested in hearing factual information relative to the application, and in view of the time constraints placed upon us, we ask your indulgence in not reiterating the comments previously presented. After public comments are received, the applicant will have the opportunity to comment, and the time will be limited to 10 minutes. Are there any questions? Hearing none, we ask the secretary to proceed with the reading of the correspondence.
Okay, we have a letter here to the zoning commission from Christine Murphy, land use administrative assistant on behalf of the planning commission, dated September 8th, 2023. Subject: referral response to zoning application Z-23-44. Please be advised that at the regular meeting of the planning commission held on September 7th, 2023, the commission made the following motion with regard to the above referral. A motion was made by Vice Chairman Dale to accept the draft motion as follows. Motion for a positive referral to the Zoning Commission for application Z-23-44, finding the proposed amendment to section 4.2.a, allowing houses of worship, etc., by special permit within the C1 and CP zoning districts, and by site plan for the I1 zoning district, consistent with the plan of conservation and development, specifically section 6, Achieving the Vision, states, the importance of Brookfield's religious communities continues to influence the social fabric of the town. The motion was seconded by L. Taylor and carried unanimously. Thank you. And we have, an email from Kristen Floberg of Westcog to Amy Current of the Land Use Department. Subject is Connecticut statutory referral to Westcog from Brookfield, attached zoning amendment, dated August 15th, 2023. Thank you for submitting the attached referral to Westcog. The opinion of Westcog staff is that the proposal is of local interest and with minimal intermunicipal impact. Therefore, it is not being forwarded to adjacent municipalities, and the regional staff is making no comment.
Thank you, Commissioner Lucia. The chair will now was now prepared to hear the applicant's presentation. Would Director Barkowski be interested in presenting that, or should I just read it into the?
Just read it. Since it's a commission sponsored, I think everyone's familiar with it at this point, and we don't have an audience to present to.
Okay, good. So let's just be as expeditious as we can. As we all know, Z-23-44 is to correct our zones to allow houses of worship with a special permit in 3 zones in Brookfield. We've discussed this, and as I mentioned, the special permit would be required. This simply changes it to add that to our current zoning regulations.
Just one quick correction to that, Mr. Chair. It's a special permit in one of the zoning districts, and it is a site plan in one of the zoning districts, the industrial, and it's a special exception in the other 2, the CP and the C1.
Okay, I'm looking at my second page here, and I'm seeing under C1 we need a site plan, under I1 we need a site plan. It says site, and under
SP is special permit.
Special
Right.
permit
Site for I-1,
Right.
special permit for.
That is correct. I
Okay.
agree. So it's 2 special permits and 1 site plan is what it
Correct.
is. Right. All right, excellent. We're all in agreement there. Okay, let's see. If there's any questions concerning this, I'd entertain them at this point in time. Any questions or clarification? Okay, I think since we have no members of the public, we can skip the public commentary here. Unless any commissioners wish to speak for or against this application. Okay, if someone would like to submit a motion to approve the draft.
We have to close the public
Close
hearing
the
first.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'd like to entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion to close the public hearing for Z-23-44.
Commissioner Holmes making a motion to close the public hearing. Do we have a second on that?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Arment making a motion to second that to close the public hearing. All in favor of closing the public hearing, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? That motion carries unanimously. At this point, I have a motion to approve the application, Z-23-44, draft motion. If Commissioner Lucia would like to.
Okay, we have a specific motion?
Well, it's rather than one of us making a motion, this is a draft. If we all agree with it, we can move ahead with that, if you'd like to read it.
Sure. Make a motion to approve application Z-23-44 of the Brookfield Zoning Commission for the proposed text amendment to section 4.2.A of the Brookfield zoning regulations, allowing places of worship / parish houses and centers, provided a minimum lot area of 120,000 square feet by special permit within the C1 and CP zoning districts and by site plan for the I1 zoning district with an effective date of October 1st, 2023.
Do we have any questions on that motion? Hearing none.
Why that date? Should we just,
The effective date?
yeah,
I have it effective after the appeal period, so it gave us time to publish the legal notice and wait until the appeal period is up before the regulation becomes in effect.
okay.
Do you have any other questions? Okay, at this point in time, I'd like to make a motion that we have a vote on approving that as read.
Motion was made,
We
somebody
made the
seconded.
someone
Okay.
made the second.
And we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor of the motion to approve Z-23-44 as read by Commissioner Lucia, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries unanimously. Okay, the next item on our thing is some old business here. We have a draft regulation change, the cannabis sales and distribution. I would ask if we can postpone that till the next meeting, till we have some more board members. I know some of the members have some comments that they'd like to make at the next meeting. 2 of those members are missing from tonight's meeting. If it please the board to do so, I would entertain a motion to bump this to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
I make a motion to bump old business item 7, draft regulation change, cannabis sales and distribution to the next meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of moving item 7A to our next meeting, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? No. Okay, thank you. The motion carries unanimously. Under new business, we have a application from Emily Mitchell of AR Building Company, 310 Seven Fields, in Seven Fields, Pennsylvania, for Edward and Kathleen McCarty of 226 Great Neck Road, Waterford. This is a proposed text amendment regarding Article 5.1 design flexibility in the TCD zone. And what we're looking to do tonight is set a public hearing on this for October 12th, 2023. Does anyone have any questions at this point? No? Okay, I would entertain a motion to set a public hearing for October 12th, 2023 for application Z23-51.
Make a motion, set the public hearing for application Z-23-51 for October 12th, 2023.
Thank you, Commissioner Lucia. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Arment. The motion before us then is to set a public hearing for October 12th of 2023. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Any, what's the word I'm looking for? Declinations?
Abstain.
Abstentions or declinations? We have none. Thank you very much. The public hearing is set for October 12th, 2023 for application Z23-51. I have been informed that our affordable housing presentation by Mr. Dombrowski will be postponed until a future meeting when all the commissioners are available. And so item 9B, we don't have anything for that tonight. That we will deal with that at a future meeting. We do have a tabled item, which is 9A, which is the revision of the zoning fee schedule. Would you like to comment on that tonight, or?
It's up to the board. I don't have any great updates. How I left it off is I gave you a comparison, and somebody came up with a fantastic chart. Was it you? Yeah, thank you. Comparing the different fee schedules and kind of an easy to digest without just giving out the regulations and the fee schedules for different towns. At this point in time, staff is just kind of looking for the direction in which you would like to go into. If you're looking for a more flat fee schedule, if you like a different model that you've seen presented to you, staff would be happy to draft something up, but it is up to the chair in which direction they would or up to the commission, excuse me, on which direction they would like to go in. I don't know if you want to table the item because not everyone's here tonight, or if you want to have a discussion. There's no expediency.
Well, go ahead,
Okay,
Commissioner.
I just had a general question while looking through all this stuff. A couple towns, one of which is Brookfield, doesn't have a quote zoning permit like other towns do. So I don't know how, is it listed as something else, or how?
The zoning compliance is probably,
Into zoning compliance, this is zoning permit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, Danbury has his zoning permits that kind of based on how much the construction cost is. And ours is just based on,
Ours is a flat
it's just a
fee.
flat, okay.
for zoning compliance, and then there's
Okay.
dependent on the types of application too.
Okay.
So, if it's a public hearing, it triggers a different amount
Right,
versus if
right,
it was a
right.
site plan
Okay.
application or a special permit.
Okay.
Well, what would the commissioners think? Would it be better to schedule this at a future date when we have the full commission here and spend a good chunk of time kicking this around, or possibly go into executive session
I think that's
to
a good idea.
discuss it?
I think so. I mean, I already have some things I'd like to talk about, which is the $500 cost of the public hearings. I think we need to talk about restructuring that. It might be fair to talk about it when everyone's here.
Yeah, I concur with Commissioner Holmes. I also would like to see our fees possibly reduced for the individual homeowners where we can, and take a break for the, you know, the average taxpayer. So I would entertain a motion to bump this to our next meeting where we can look at it in greater detail with the full commission. Anybody,
I
Commissioner
make a
Holmes?
motion to postpone this fee schedule to the next meeting or future meetings where we have more commissioners.
I said, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a meeting, motion made and seconded. All those in favor of pushing the fee schedule discussion to another meeting where we either do it as a open table item or as a executive session to be determined at that time, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Any declinations? Okay, the motion carries. We're now at the commissioner comments and informal discussion. Do any commissioners have any comments or informal discussions, items that they would like to discuss? Okay,
Well, just, I guess, the,
Greenville.
yes. What's the address of that property?
31
31
Green.
Greenville. Is there any new news you can,
So I
Share?
can say that I got a call from the attorney from the opposing side. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to town attorney yet on what was discussed. So I'm hesitant to go any further on that because I don't know which direction that we want to take this in
Okay.
right now. But I did get a call from Attorney Marcus about this today, actually, a little while ago. So, and we did briefly discuss it. There was no decisions made, there was no agreements made, but we are looking to move forward with it in
can the
in
board
some
talk about
capacity.
possibly asking our town to pay for the testing of the
I was just
water
going
and
to
the
say
bill? Like, I
that.
think that we could,
Just,
if we as a commission agree on that, we could get the ball rolling on that, just because people are asking about that. People that I meet, people wanna know. It's definitely been in the papers, everybody just is talking about this, and I feel bad not having any answers, for people that I meet in town, and,
Did Deep ever get back?
Deep did not. I reached out to them for a third time today.
wow.
And I have not gotten, which is not uncommon. I hate to say that. I was surprised I got a response the first time, to be honest.
but wouldn't it just cost the town maybe a couple $100 to
Test the,
test
I-
that water?
You know, I would, the town itself doesn't have the capacity to do it.
Really?
So it's not the health department can go out there and test the water. They don't have the facilities to. There was discussion about that at one point in time. It would have to be hiring an outside party.
that's fine. I think
Just,
at this point, I'm willing to spring for it, I'm willing to recommend that our board spring for the
Don't-
cost of that.
well, I would just ask one question. I agree 100% with you that I think the testing needs to be done before we incur the cost. I'd like to know what it's gonna actually be and see where it would be funded from.
that's my concern. I don't believe you have a budget that's set aside in which
Yeah.
you can do this. It's a great thought, and I understand where you're coming from on
I
it.
mean, I'm happy to chip in if
But-
it's not too much, but, I think we
um,
need- I know there are firms in Newtown, having been involved in water testing for, you know,
Right,
or-
like
or-
environmental,
Yeah, and
Or-
if we could
yes.
get a price from them, maybe, and,
Yes.
because it varies by the type of testing that you
Absolutely.
want, so.
And how much material you want tested, if you're
Yeah.
looking for just samples.
I'm very supportive of finding out if there's a problem. I just would like to know how much
Me
it
too.
costs.
and also with the fees that will be incurred from
Mhm.
the new daily
The
fees.
citations, correct.
Right, I think we can use that money towards this, hopefully.
Yeah,
We have
or,
to pay for
or
it.
in the event if it's possible to charge the offending party for the fees.
That's more of a direction that, you know, is
There may be a legal
standard
question
done.
in there. you know?
That
But-
might take another year.
Again, I think,
That's the
We
problem.
need to expedite the
yeah, I don't think
process.
anybody is opposed here to getting
I
it
mean-
tested. I just think, where does the money coming from and who's gonna pay for it is the only
One
question.
concern would, if you do get it tested and it comes back okay, do you lose all your ground on, oh, we don't need to take all this stuff out?
No.
It's an
I
excellent
mean, you shouldn't,
question.
because that's a separate problem. You're saying, does it undercut anything?
Sounds like there's a recommendation for you to look into this a little bit more, both from a legal perspective and from the cost perspective.
Absolutely.
But I think the commission is, everybody on the commission is supportive of moving this item ahead.
Absolutely, with the testing, so I
Absolutely.
think by the next meeting, we should have some facts, maybe we should talk to, I don't know who pays for this, BOF, or wherever the budget comes from. It couldn't be more than a couple $100,
I don't
in
think,
my
2 to
opinion.
3.
I think it's past time
Yeah.
to find out. Nobody else, if Deep can't tackle it, nobody else can get around to this.
And if it isn't fine, we're,
Well, that triggers another thing. I mean, does our
We're in
health director
trouble.
get involved at that point?
So this has been brought up to the health director before,
Okay.
which is why I know for a fact that the town itself doesn't have the capacity to do the testing. Because the
Okay.
very first thing we did do is go discuss with the health department on whether or not there was possibility to test the soil, test the water, and they just don't have the capacity to do it in the town. We're a small town and we just don't have the resources.
Okay, so if
So
it
it
needs
would
to be
have to be
outsourced,
outsourced.
that's fine by me. I just think that by the next meeting, we should find out how much it's gonna cost, find out who can do it, maybe decide between 2 or 3 different companies, and then ask who we need to ask to get it going.
I concur.
I will see what I can find out, absolutely.
Thank you.
I have one other item under Commissioner comments and informal discussion. I believe our training certs are due this month. I have the information that everybody sent me. I'll be happy to forward that to our land use director. If anybody else needs to complete anything or do it, it's all available online. I think we only had to get 4 hours in this year, but it's due to the Board of Selectmen by the end of this
I've done
month.
part of it, and I don't know who has kept track of that. Was it one of the previous?
It was me.
It was you.
It was sent, if it was sent as an email to me, I put it in a spreadsheet. I'll dig
I
that
have no
spreadsheet
idea. I
out and I'll
can
kick it
find
back
out.
out.
I'm not sure I sent it to you.
I'm not sure I sent it to you either.
Well, they
I sent it
originally
to
sent an
someone
email
else.
out, they originally sent it, yeah, it may have been our previous land use director, but I think we're all responsible
Maybe
for 4 hours of
Hod's
training.
Right.
And it's all available online,
We
and
can
I think it's
resend the link if that's easier, for the online commissioner training, if anyone's doesn't have the link anymore where they can get it done.
that would be helpful, just as a backup. But as I said, I'm pretty sure that, I'm not sure that everybody at this board has, but I think the majority of commissioners have completed everything. So,
I need 1 hour.
I need something else, but I did a lot of it.
hour.
I did a good chunk of
it
it.
goes quick
Yeah,
online.
the 3 sessions ended up taking over 4 hours, so 3 sessions covered it.
But those were live, now they're
Yeah.
taped.
Oh, they cut it down? Is it-
Well, it's been taped, so I think the one that you go back and look at is on tape.
Oh.
Oh.
I have the breakdown on what counts for what as well, so it's part of the
Yeah.
email, so I will make sure I send that out.
Well, anyway, that's that, because they apparently the selectmen have to certify to the state that we actually know something about what we're doing. So.
We did the training well.
The quarter won't count anymore then. Okay, moving ahead, I would entertain a motion for adjournment, if anyone would like to make that. I hope we've set a record tonight, for speedy, due process. Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do we have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. It was an excellent meeting. Appreciate it.